But sometimes after hearing something time after time after time, it finally clicks, or you've heard it and now you're gonna circle back because you're in your life, point in life right now where you're able to focus on it better, or it is time to start focusing on it. And creating an extraordinary life begins with your commitment to learn, grow, and improve on a daily basis. So today we're going to kind of be talking about schedules, habits, Legion activities, and your level of success will seldom exceed your level of personal development, because success is something you attract by the person you become. So all the stuff that I got today is Chris asked me on Wednesday if I would lead Legion class today. And we already had planned to go to Vegas on Friday. So when we went for the Chiefs game, so we were in Vegas all weekend. So like on the plane, I am like reading through books of Eat the Frog. I don't know if you Eat the Frog. I had the Shift book. I had the Miracle Morning. I had the new Millionaire Real Estate Playbook. And I'm just going through all these things. Everything coming from today is from different points of real estate, of where we're, of just things I've been reading this last couple of months. Okay, database health. Is everyone using command? You're just starting, so you probably don't really have your commands. Okay, so if you are in command, what is your database health score? And these might be things that, so much of this is going to be homework that you can fill out at a later time and really kind of dig into everything, but
so it took a long time for me to get past the 70s. I'm at like 71%. And so some of the things that I did to get my score up was you just get more information on the people. You get their like home anniversary date or their birthday or any sort of information that you can use as a touch later. Helps your score go up. So,
and were you doing that by, I know over, was it this past year that Susie kind of did the, what did we even call it?
201.
The 201 club, that's what she did. And so we were really focused at that time with having 201 people and going through and
I think
categorizing your database.
It's like you should make 120,000 or 125,000 if you have 201 contacts at least 70% health score.
Yep.
And then I like Gary Keller's little saying, they're contacts if you contact them. So
correct.
201 people, and then use the information that you've got to get in there and work your database and contact them.
I agree, because if it's just a name, you don't know them, and
Right.
putting all the information in and
which I went from like 400 people of like some were garbage or repeat, or it takes from your phone. And then I just started like chopping down, like they don't even live here anymore.
Yeah.
So they're out of my contacts. So
yeah.
my contacts went down, but my health score went up. So
Good. Going through and qualifying who your people are. Like Kyle has hundreds of people in this database, but the people that we focus on are 174 people. That's who our newsletters are. That's who he could say, if I ask this person, they'd probably give me a referral. That's who we're going to spend our money on marketing. That's who I would call through on a daily basis. That's who I'd pick up. If they called me, I wouldn't go, ugh, I don't want to talk to them. Answer the phone to them. Top 4 lead sources is also important because we all get distracted with like shiny object syndrome. So when you're going through your database, where is everyone marking how they found that person? Are you tagging whether they're your COI, whether they came from like a lender lead, an open house? Does anybody know what their top 4 sources are? Josh, you don't know what your top 4 sources are.
mine is certainly my sphere of influence. We are starting to get leads now, past clients and stuff like that. So I will, like, I'm getting better at tagging because it's making me more organized. When I, like, say for Father's Day, I only want to print, addresses for the people that are obviously fathers for
Fathers,
Father's
yep.
Day. So just cleaning it up and knowing where they fall in your categories helps quite a bit.
We keep a pretty good spreadsheet of where everyone came from. We've got it all listed out. Our group does. Let's see, I can pull it up here. I was like, do you?
Yeah.
Closed units, and we go by every year. So it's got the name, the agent's name, it's got how much volume they've done, buyers and sellers total, and then where exactly each transaction came from. So we have it broken down on a different spreadsheet because this is easier to look at for me instead of going through our database. Us as a group in 2024, we've closed 76 transactions this year. 30 of them have come from our COI, 18 from our COI referral. So that would be where this friend that we've done business with or that we're really close to has told a friend or family member, coworker that we don't know about us. So COI referral. So we have that broken down into two separate things. 7 of them have come from agent referrals. So either people that were going to be an agent that are no longer an agent, they put their license in referral, or they have moved to a different city. They used to live here, they've moved out of state. We have done that since we have an agent in Topeka. We have taken people from this office. I ain't driving to Topeka. I'm like, that's fair. We'll take your referral for you. 3 have come from Google, 2 from open houses, 2 from sign calls, 2 from my portrait studio, 2 from a cold lead source, 2 from sign calls, 1 from Zillow, and 1 from lender referral. And then there's a couple other ones in there. So when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, okay, if they're coming from COI, zero referral, agent referral, then that's where I want to focus my time on, right? We all as agents get like 1 million emails a day that's like, buy this lead source, buy this, do this, sign up for this, all these things. And so it's like, okay, it's easier for me to say, I know that most of my people are coming from referral, from COI and COI referral, so I don't need to buy into this program and get distracted with that. I need to go back to just focusing on our sphere of influence. With your database, you can't do business without people. So you need to find your people and then you need to find your raving fans. So how many raving fans do you have? I always like to use my cousin-in-law. He's married to my cousin. He's my cousin-in-law. We did multiple deals with him. And then he has been, I need to go back to see if I beat Chris's 8 because I'd be hearing him at different parties, different family events going on and be like, talking to somebody and I don't even know who this person is. He'd be like, oh, you're not going to use Kristin and Kyle as your agents. You're just stupid then. Like, I don't even know like why you wouldn't even use them as your real estate agents. And I was like, raving fan. I don't have to be the one to bring up real estate. When he hears somebody talk about real estate, houses, this and that, then he is my #1 fan, putting it in there of recommending me. Like, that's a lot easier for me to have a conversation with somebody when they come up and they're like, Wayne said I had to talk to you because of this. And I'm like, right. He's doing the work for me. So how many raving fans do you have in your database? It should always probably be like your adult in your life, your mom, your dad, a grandparent. Those have got to be your first raving fans about that. When they hear real estate, do they talk to that person about you?
What do you do differently for those raving fans?
Those are marked in our databases as A's pluses. So we are touching them more often with different calls, making sure that we're checking in with them more just on giving the forward of family, occupation, dreams, recreation dreams. So we're talking to them about that. We're making sure when we do client event parties that they always make sure that they get a personal phone call versus just the invite in the mail. And we try to do phone calls, but we make sure that these people are a priority with the things that we do. At some events that we've done, we have had VIP passes. We had an 80s beat the heat skate party or something. Is that what we did? But they had little lanyards. I'm a top fan. I'm trying to think of what it was now. VIP pass. And so when they had those on, they like shined and they're like, I'm VIP, I'm VIP. And they were able to go to the concession stand and get whatever they wanted with their VIP pass. And so then we just paid for their snacks that day at the skating rink. And so that was something that's like, that was something so simple that it just was funny. It's very entertaining, some of them that had it, but they were like, they're gonna remember that and they're gonna talk about that for a while.
Yeah.
And they were all taking selfies with their VIP passes. It's very cute. So hopefully we need to do another client event for us to do that again. You can't manage something if you can't measure it. So keeping track of where everyone came from and where you want to be. And it should be every client is worth 5 transactions. It's the mentality of like, I would like to buy a pink Jeep. And then all of a sudden you start seeing pink Jeeps all over the place because that's what you're thinking about all the time. So someone buying a house is going to be thinking about buying houses. They're going to be talking to everybody at their work and wherever they are in life, they're going to be talking about houses. So that should, if you're teaching those people, those clients, how to send you business and talk about you, then you should be able, the idea is to get 5 transactions from each client.
What are some of the things that you guys say specifically to, other than just saying, hey, if you know anybody who's thinking about buying and selling, like, are there other, when you say you're teaching them to keep you in mind, like, are there certain things you're saying to them?
So switch your verbiage. Directly asking, who do you know that's looking to buy or sell? And if you're asking those people during the transaction, again, they're talking about real estate, so they're talking to somebody else about it. Then we will ask again, after the transaction, who do you know?
So
Just
you're
a very
asking,
direct question about it. And then in conversation, bringing up when out showing houses or saying that why we're different than another agent, and we're saying, you might not like us through this whole transaction because we're gonna show up to this house and we're saying you shouldn't buy this house because it's just not the right fit for you, even though that you love it. But I'm not trying to get you into a house just for a transaction. I want to be your realtor for life. And so it's okay if I'm gonna say no to this house. And so it's explaining to them that we're gonna be there for the long haul. And then afterwards we're saying, when you're ready to move, and then we're following up with them. And inviting them to the different client events, and so then we're putting in there again, we're never too busy for your referrals, we're always seeing that all over the place, but just straight up asking a direct question, who do you know looking to buy or sell, that I can help? Okay, Legion activities, since this is a Legion class. Here are some of the top ones, and I was kind of needing to think where else, what others can we think of? And when I was like typing all this all out, I'm like, there are so many more Legion activities, and why am I drawing a blank? I was like, I'll just ask everyone what they're thinking of what other Legion activities is. So obviously follow your sphere. Door knocking could be one. Agent referrals, open houses, expired, client parties, social media, first time buyer seminars, Popeyes, reaching out on social media, scheduling text to check in with people. What are some of your other favorite Legion activities?
I like to contact my contractors, the people that I'm sending business to. I'm gonna go out and ask them for business also.
How's it going?
Soccer is a huge one for me.
Good sport.
Yeah.
What about just promotion, like, whether it be a concert or, a venue, I don't, maybe that kind of things on the social media, but you're putting your name out as sporting, like, whether it be soccer or like this. I think,
Like a banner? Is that what
yeah,
you're
like
thinking?
River Dean, I think he does like, he like sponsors like bands and stuff at like a local club or something like that.
So
Event sponsorship.
Yes, I'm trying to think if that would fall under Legion, or is that go more towards marketing?
Seminars.
That was probably spent some.
Thank you, Lord, for that.
What else? What other Legion activities are there? 'Cause there's gotta be a ton, right? There's gotta be more than that. Or you're going out to find the business.
I love what Callista said the other week when she was doing like an open house, she was calling neighbors, like calling them and,
Reverse
yeah,
prospecting.
yeah.
What about, trying to make sure that it's not already on here. But the people that you've already worked with,
Past clients.
past times, is that on there? No,
No, because it's just called to your.
yeah, so like I'm big on that, like once a month. I contact everyone that we've sold a house to in the last 2-3 years. Just to see, make sure they're doing okay, like a windstorm like this, like just checking on them. So,
Other things is, so when you're checking up on them, are you also figuring out like what time of year it is, like when the frost comes and you need to make sure that your garden hose is on the hose? And all the things is that, and you would think that sometimes home ownership would have, you miss all the simple stuff of something that an apartment complex or something would take care of.
Yeah.
That a homeowner doesn't know that they need to do, and I didn't know that, I'm sorry, that was common sense, but you're right, I'm gonna add it to our newsletter where home maintenance tips, because I didn't realize that maybe this wasn't common sense thing that I need to do, so that can turn into a call as well. Home maintenance stuff can turn into a call, just another reason to call versus just asking for business, you're getting helpful information. Okay. For all the Legion activities, what would be the one thing that you want to give attention to this next week? Had it been a couple weeks ago, I would have said everyone needs to focus on trunk or treat for the fun. And now that we're past that, if you did trunk or treat, then for the client event, making sure that you're following up with people that did come and writing thank you notes to them for the ones that showed up, or sorry, you weren't able to make it, notes. What's everyone gonna focus on for Legion activities this next week? Daylight savings time?
And the batteries and their smoke detectors at the same time.
Mhm. Is everyone doing real estate full time? Going to be doing real estate full time? What else you got? So then you gotta have more things in that. What are you gonna focus on this?
Oh, what I'm doing this week,
Mhm.
this week, well, I'm still focused on expireds, it's just every day, getting in and checking like what are the new ones popping up, but then also our client party is coming up in a few weeks, so I'm gonna start going through and calling, all of our clients who, if they haven't already RSVP'd to the party, making sure that they got the invitation, checking on them, making sure that they know about the party. Getting a phone call invitation.
Since everyone forgets what day of the week it is, and so
Right.
remembering that.
If you're doing the pie, maybe calling, when you're checking in with your sphere, you can also see if they're interested in a pie this year, that way you know how many to plan for and get.
Is anybody doing a client event one? It's like our next client event's next to Santa.
we do a pie party.
You're doing a pie party? Thanksgiving week?
No, because we'll be out of town, so we'll do it like the week.
Before Thanksgiving.
Hopefully the pie stays fresh up until Thanksgiving, but
If it lasts that long.
yeah, they don't seem to last very long.
Where do you get them from? Like, where do you get
Sam,
them?
Sam's Club.
Do you just, do you call ahead into a big order or do you just go?
We go and pick up like 20 at a time and then the next time 20 at a time, stuff like that.
You just put them in like in your fridge or something?
Yeah.
And how many pies total do you think?
Probably 50, 60. I think we've done it 60 at one time. But I like to, I don't like pumpkin pie, so if you were trying to woo me, a pumpkin pie ain't gonna do shit for me. So,
I'm gonna say no to that.
yeah, apple pie is where I'm at, or cherry, so
So are you giving them the option then?
I would like to.
Oh, that Jackie.
What's your
She is difficult
But
to
my
deal with.
boss is,
Surprised you have it quick.
Do you hand deliver or do you have?
so we've done both. I think we're gonna go back to having them come over to our house and come and pick it up. That way it's at their leisure. We know that they got it. Last year, there was a couple, we'd have to leave them on their doorstep to take a picture. And I don't really like that. That's less personable and,
Bye.
yeah,
Alright,
Mhm.
yeah,
the raccoons are gonna love it.
right. So,
Kids.
yeah, I think we're gonna go back to just the personal delivery type thing. So, but those that can't make it, we will hand deliver.
And is the response pretty good? Are they like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad because I wasn't gonna get a pie myself?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
everyone knows a realtor and, so there's sometimes they have more than one pie. Like more than one pumpkin that I'm putting on the doorstep, taking the other one off. No, I'm just joking, I don't do that, but I want to.
Always,
Or switch
there's
them
always
out,
a little
switch
trick,
them
yeah,
out.
Yeah, like their pumpkin is much bigger than mine, they cut our name off.
Which tags? So what are you gonna focus on for this next week? So you've got to be making your calls, right?
Right.
So who are you gonna give pies to?
Well, we've got to merge our database a little bit better, but, definitely like our A's get pies or people that have bought a house from us this year or referrals and stuff like that. So that's why, 60 pies, it's quite a few pies,
Mm-hmm.
so.
I have a question. So when you're doing, and I've done pies in the past, but do you do them just for the people who you've worked with in the past year or referrals you've just gotten in the past year?
Right. Yeah, like our A plus, like the ones that are referring people to us, they may not have ever purchased a home from us, but they refer us and they're the ones that are like our
Raving
cheerleaders, yeah, raving fans. So they get one and then people that we're marketing to, prospecting, like that are going to buy, like in the pipeline at the top of the pipeline, they're getting pies too, so. There's quite a few of them.
Yeah.
But
Hey, Kristen, I may have missed this. Where, is there a copy of this somewhere?
I'm having Savannah send it out.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else wanna say what Legion or activities are gonna do this week? Melissa, what are you gonna focus on this week? Okay. Do you call through everybody in your database? Did she say yeah?
Just very excited about it too.
Yeah. So how are you gonna keep track of that?
Yeah.
Your command. So in your note section, what are you gonna start with? You gonna go alphabetically, or are you gonna go your favorite people first? A plus people? How many calls do you need to make a day for the people that you have in your database that you would call since daylight savings is this Sunday? It's Tuesday, right? So you've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to make calls, right?
that's doable.
You already have it on your calendar.
That could be one of the steps, how to achieve it.
Exactly, and that's part of it is breaking it all down. Right, so when are you actually gonna come in and make calls? Do you have it on your calendar to already be in the office? Or are you gonna do it from home? If you're gonna do it from home, what time are you gonna do it from home? Don't wanna call people too early, don't wanna call them too late. If you've got kids, you've got other things, you got appointments, other appointments. setting it on your calendar of when you're gonna do it, how you're gonna do it. Starting with the A pluses in case something else comes up that you're at least reached your A pluses. Other notes in here, it's, things that I've just, through the things that says, the definition of a seller is anyone who owns their home. So where are you gonna find, people to call, who do you know that owns a home right now? Just because someone just bought a home within the last 2 years doesn't mean that they're not. Stuff comes up. So they need to always think of you as their realtor, whether a job or divorce or death, or they didn't know they were gonna have to be a caregiver for somebody in their lives, and now they have to have a ranch home so that so-and-so can move around on one level. So most of your day, 50% of your day is already a pattern that you're already doing it right now. So is it the right pattern that you already have? What does your day look like? So the habit tracker is, can you focus on something? What do you want to focus on? 10 things for the next 30 days that you want to do. To give yourself resets. The creating micro actions. The simplest thing that you can do every morning is making your bed every day. It sounds so trivial, but there's like books and this and blah, blah, blah about making your bed every day. It's the first it's a micro action. It's something that can start your day out right, which is very weird to me, but I'm like, my golly, someone smarter than me does it. I'm freaking make my bed. These micro actions help establish positive habits that can lead to long-term success. For example, of course, making your bed. So what do you want your habits to be? What can you focus on for the next 30 days? Making your bed, you want to drink so much water, calling X amount of people for your database, you want to go to the gym, walking so many steps, and say, okay, I don't have time for the gym, but I can walk so many steps. Limiting screen time. I think you can go through your phone and say, how many minutes have I been on social media on your phone? That's can be very scary.
There's actually apps that help with that too. Like it will lock your social media.
Oh, that's funny. I haven't seen that.
Really?
Yeah. It's,
Like certain things or all your social
no,
media?
like you can select which apps it will like lock for you.
Like you've been on Facebook enough, you
Uh-huh,
don't try
yeah.
again tomorrow.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a what would you say?
I said, that's a damn dirty trick, I bet. So that gets on my phone.
How get locked out every day.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't even know, you go down a rabbit hole of something and it's so easy just to scroll and
Yeah.
45 minutes later, you're like, oh gosh.
Great.
Okay, are you gonna focus on sleep? Something as easy as stretching, eating mindfully, keep track of quitting a bad habit, enjoying a hobby, looking at your database every day. What do you wanna focus on this next month that you think that you can do for the whole month?
Water, steps, eat mindfully, and look at your database. So I've got a list of our pipeline that I stare at constantly. Like I stare at it and I try to figure out ways I can nudge them or, just interact with them to, like, they're not gonna forget about me. So, yeah, I'd like to work on those 4 things.
Okay, write it on your next page.
This page here.
Do you have? Oh, you got printed back. I was like,
So what I got. Water.
how much water are you gonna drink? You can't just say water because that's not measurable,
64
right?
ounces.
54
What is that, like, the one big ass thing?
2 of these.
Okay, what, you
This
suppose
is
that's?
40 ounces.
Yeah, that's 32.
I'll drink 80 ounces of water.
How much water do you think you're drinking now?
Probably right around,
2.
6 ounces.
Whatever it is, it's
red
red
one in
bull.
front of them.
Yeah. Drink a couple of things, and then but I don't drink enough, for sure.
Okay, so then let's make sure that that's attainable, right? Because if it's something like, if you start looking at a 32 ounce thing of water and you're like, bleh, and you want it, and you're saying you're gonna do 64, you're not gonna be able to reach that, right? So where are you at now? and then making a step that's here, not here. Because if you're not able to get that every day, your mindset is gonna really mess with you.
See, I'm the, like, how I'm.
Do you need to be challenged?
Yes, I have to have,
Okay,
I can't take baby steps or I won't take the steps.
okay,
I have to completely change my life, to change my life.
okay, so you're saying water. Why are you gonna go with water? Because you know that's what you need? Red Bull doesn't have enough water?
Well, this makes me feel terrible.
Okay,
Like it aches and then I can lose weight by drinking water and taking steps. So that's a goal, just lose some weight.
so weight is my thing too, and you gonna go off of pounds? Or are you gonna take a measurement somewhere on your body and be like, I've gotta do this? Or are you gonna do it with a pair of pants?
I would
I'm
assume
trying
that
to
you guys
sit
would
right now
all,
then.
you guys would all compliment me when I come in and say,
Okay.
you're looking really good.
Okay, that's where we can measure at, right? Okay, so you're just gonna keep, you're gonna keep
I'm gonna keep
going
tabs on all of you on.
until
Wait,
one of us is
guys,
like, thank
compliment.
gosh.
Mel Robbins has a great podcast on habit. And she goes like, I don't think she interviewed somebody this one, but like she was basing it off of like this scientific study on the science behind habit. And she drilled into it. She's like, if you can't, like, if you've been trying to lose weight or trying to stop drinking or trying to whatever, and you can't do it, it's not because you're stupid or because you're inadequate. You haven't figured out in your mind what you need to do. And it's like she breaks it down into like 3 specific steps. So
What's her
anyway,
name?
Mel Robbins
Oh, yeah.
podcast,
Really?
and then you can find the one on habits, but I mean, like, it really does make sense, Bill.
I agree. I feel like a habit, the hardest thing is weight. Because it's the thing to get most easily frustrated about, right? You start working out, then you're not building muscle, blah, 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 but then you're still like weighing the same. So it's apparently not frustrating, but yeah, his habit was just, he went straight to, he's very competitive too, so he went straight to just like eating meat every single day and
Yeah.
having anything else in there. And they're saying if you're gonna try to lose weight, then don't say, I'm gonna add in these healthy things instead of saying I'm not going to eat out anymore. Because then you're focused on, okay, well, now that I can't have it, that's what I want, right? So now I'm gonna go ahead and just say I'm gonna add in so many fruits and vegetables a day in that way. What else is super, what are you gonna focus on for the next 30 days? Can you make a 30-day commitment to something? Melissa?
Online is to keep going, reading, shift every day, and I'm also going because I really need to work on my database. It's kind of a mess right now, so I feel like if every single day I just go in there for like 15 minutes and work on it, then it'll be way more tangible than being like, okay, well, I need to spend 3 hours aside to go completely fix this and overhaul it, so.
Okay, so 15 minutes a day on your database. And how many pages are you gonna read, Chef? 5. Okay, that's a good step because last week it was 1. Melissa and I have been going through the chef's book. And that's funny because she was like, I'm reading 1 page and shift a day. I'm like, girl, you could accidentally stay up till 3 in the morning reading a good book. At that time, like you're 1 page shift, but no, that's good because you're gonna make it a habit. And then once you read the 1 page, most likely you can read the 2nd page, right? Or you're reading to the next break in the book.
I struggle with reading too. That's one of my goals. It's reading 30 minutes a day. Like, I sit down and I'll fall right asleep if like I start reading. It is so hard. So like now I'm walking on a treadmill, reading for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like that's how I can stay engaged.
So I love a physical book. Kyle cannot hold a physical book, so will sometimes listen to book on tapes, but it's more so podcasts. We'll say podcast, this podcast, that podcast. He stays way more engaged on that, and then when he's listening to stuff, he's not just listening to on like regular speed, he's speeding up whatever he's listening to, because he can focus a little bit better when it's sped up, because you have to listen to it. So he's doing that every time he gets in the car, he's done a podcast. That's a cool
Yes.
What is that saying, like what you think about grows or something like that? I mean, if it's negative, if you're only thinking negatively, that's what is gonna grow in your life. If you think about drinking this damn water, then that's gonna really grow on you.
Exactly. John Maxwell said, you'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret to success is found in your daily routine. Okay, next up, the calendar. Okay. Everyone said they're basically doing real estate full-time, getting ready to do real estate full-time, so here's like kind of a makeshift day. So what does your week look like? And I just printed this big calendar. I just got this one in, I'm ready for 2025. Where did you get it? Amazon, $10. And last year Susie took it to I want to say Home Depot, Office Max, and had it laminated for me so that we could do our, dry erase markers on it. So we went through the calendar. And I said, okay, I need to see where my vacations are, and I'm putting my vacations on here. And then I'm saying, okay, here's my birthday, and I'm not gonna work on my birthday. And here, I'm gonna do this client event, and I'm gonna do this. And then I was looking at the calendar, and I'm saying, okay, all this stuff, I'm not gonna work on my kid's birthday, I'm not gonna work on my birthday, I'm not gonna work on Kyle's birthday, probably not gonna work a whole bunch on Sundays. And then I start to think, how many days does that leave me in 2025 that I'm actually gonna be doing focused work, right? Because Tuesday mornings, we come in for Legion Lab, then we have our meetings, and then we do lunch, and then after we eat lunch, I'm like, well, now I'm ready for a nap. So Tuesdays out. Or any kind of looking at my database, doing any type of Legion activities. Then I go in and I'm like, okay, where's the Chiefs games? Because I'm usually focused on the Chiefs game the whole day because we turn it into a client event party, and it's the tailgating, it's the whole thing. Then I need the next whole day to like basically recover from all of the noise and interaction with all of the people. So that leaves not very many days that I'm gonna do Legion activities. So when I do have Legion activities, I need to be hyper focused. So adding to your calendar, hyper focus time. And I was saying, everyone's like, every day, like Chris Lindquist will say, every day, 9 to 11, 2 hours in your office Legion activities. I'm like, that's probably not happening for me. So, but what are you gonna make work for you? When are you coming in to the office? And I keep saying that, when are you gonna, wherever your office is, when are you gonna have a hyper focus time? When I go and need to focus on something, I'll put my phone on battery saver because it's not popping up my emails and it's not popping up my notifications. It will send through some text and I can look on my watch. Do I need to respond back? No, I do not. I don't need to necessarily respond back, but power saving, I'm not getting email notifications on my phone or on my watch. So it's not distracting me as much. People are like, turn your phone off. I'm like, too many things going on in my head that I cannot turn off my phone and focus for 2 hours. Like you can, right? If your phone is super distracting and you can't just glance at your watch or your phone real quick and put it down, and you don't need to deal with it, then maybe that is what you need to do. But what is gonna work for you? When is gonna be your hyper focus time? I try to say mornings because you're the most amped to get things done. Nothing's really gone wrong yet in your day yet, so you're ready to start out fresh and get going. So then try not to schedule any doctor's appointments first thing in the morning. Try not to schedule things that are not going to be Legion activities in the morning if possible. No dentist appointments in the morning. If they can do it at 2 in the afternoon, then that's when you should be doing it instead of that way you can focus on first thing in the morning when you're fresh Legion activities. But maybe that doesn't work for you. Maybe you have a different plan. Whatever that plan is, just stay dedicated to it. Maybe it's not 5 days a week. Maybe it's 2 mornings. I'm only gonna focus Wednesdays and Thursdays because that's all I can give because I have another job. I have this, I have kids, I have sports, I have other things going on.
Yeah, I was curious, do you find it more success like an AM Legion, like with contacts, or in like the PM kind of like after work? You know, people kind of in the evening time. In your experience, where you found the most success in Legion?
So it depends on what Legion activity you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? So if your calling expires in FIFDOs, I feel like Monday morning would be your time to make sure that you're calling all those people in the morning. Because if their house hasn't sold over the weekend, then that's gonna be the best time to give them a call, like, hey, it didn't sell, perfect. Well, probably most people think if they're gonna sell their house on their own, well, I'm gonna give it till this weekend. And we do that a lot in real estate with listings anyways. Well, we're gonna give it till Monday afternoon before we drop the price. We're gonna see what happens Monday morning and then we're gonna reconnect. So it's like, okay, here's your Monday morning. Here's your thing. That's when I receive the most sales calls on my phone. So I'm assuming somebody smarter than me figured out Monday mornings are what that is. If I need to talk, then I'm thinking about who I'm calling with it of, if I'm inviting people to client events and I'm kind of going through the figuring out, okay, I know this person works this time. And then I know how with like, are they a text person or are they a phone call person?
You know, I was gonna say, just looking at your, like, your yearly calendar, because I think what you guys do really well is you plan really well, whereas for me, like, in my head, I know, okay, we have our folk party, and we do the spring Deanna Road, I'm gonna have Popeyes, and I don't really like. And I plan like my day, but I'm probably not as good as like stepping back and thinking like, okay, yes, I am gonna do the Valentine's Popeye, and then, you know, we're gonna have. Like really thinking more strategically about planning out activity by year, that way, like.
Well,
I'm excited to do it.
It gives you a different view too, right? So I go down to November, so Thanksgiving Day is here. Actually, let me use our snacks with Santa since that one's not on here. Okay, so I know in 2025, if we do Santa again, we're gonna try to shoot for Saturday the 6th because we want to do it early in December. And okay, that's this on 2025, it's the 6th. So that's when our event is. So then I know that by looking at it this way, they say that you need to start marketing your event 6 to 8 weeks prior to the event, right? So now that I've seen it on here, now I know I can go, okay, well, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need to start talking about it this month. At that, I need to make sure that I'm getting my invites in the mail at the end of this week. So if I'm looking at it here, then I can say, okay, well, to order my invites, then I need to make sure that I have them ordered a week and a half before that. Because it's gonna take time to, for the printing company to print them. So if I'm gonna have them there, now I say, okay, well, I need to back up one more week and I need to make sure that they are designed the week prior so I can do them. So sometimes just looking at this calendar this way, I can back up instead of thinking about it. So we have, I should have brought in our old one because we did the things for Popeyes too. So we did pumpkin carving kits this year as a Popeye. And there was a discussion of when are we going to start a pumpkin carving contest? Okay, so we're going to start the pumpkin carving contest a week before Halloween. And it's gonna go to Halloween, so I know I'm gonna have them this. Then I need to make sure my agents have, I asked them, how long is it gonna take you to get pumpkin carving kits? How many do you want? They said, they gave me their number and they said they need basically a whole week. Okay, well, I gotta have them to my agents by this day. And I'm just looking at them like, okay, well, I'm gonna see you guys on Tuesday or Wednesday here at, Tuesday at the team meetings. So I'm gonna bring them Wednesday, so I need to have them done. So I'm gonna have them ordered, I'm gonna have tags, so I'm getting detailed about putting on my calendar. When am I gonna have time to make them? When am I gonna have time to put the tags? When am I gonna have time to put them together? When do I have to get them to the agent? When is the contest gonna start? So it's like easier to break it down on here, having a plan. And that way when it pops up on my calendar, because if I don't put things on my calendar, you get to the end of the month and you're like, oh, I was gonna do that. Oh shoot, now I've got to pay expedited shipping on these invites because I didn't have a plan. Oh, now we don't have as good as a turnout, okay, and then it's figuring out also, an agent needs to make calls to invite something, then I've got to give them time, and then you got to give also buffer time for all the random things that come up in your daily world. Did that answer your question?
Yes, well, and I just think, for me at least, I feel sometimes like it just kind of. It happens because, the clients who wanna go see houses or, listing, and it's just like you kind of let that stuff control you, control your schedule rather than like. Taking control of your schedule and really planning. being more systematic about it.
And that's a part of like the cycle of suck that they talked about last week of,
Yeah.
since it wasn't on your calendar and you didn't give yourself enough time to do it, like, obviously I'm gonna drop things to go show a house, right?
Yeah.
So, but if I've put in buffer time, then it's not
Right.
as detrimental to everything. So on our calendar, we'll have vacations, client events, pop buys we're doing, conferences or classes that we're going to, there's mega camp and family reunion every year through Keller Williams. Lunches, coffees, and when we're sending out our newsletters, we're doing our newsletters like quarterly now, so when are we having, that's gotta go on our calendar too, because it's when do we want the newsletters to hit the mailbox? Okay, so now I need to back up. When do I need to have labels done? Because I've got to give the agents, make sure that they have time to update their labels, so we don't have a bunch of return address labels, or make sure they have everybody in there that they wanted to send newsletters to. And then I'm gonna back up, when am I gonna print them? Because it takes forever to print. When am I gonna stuff them?
You make your own newsletters.
Through Canva.
Newsletters, vacations, conferences.
Yeah, on our birthdays, we have, on our calendar, we put in kids' birthdays, lunches, coffees, newsletters. If you follow the theme system, like business to business, like when you're with other businesses. Okay, let's go over goals. What are your systems and your goals? I don't know. I think it was on Facebook and I saw this little thing that was like goals only, out of system and goal and system. I was like, oh, isn't that so cute and cheesy? Isn't that just like a simple thing of like, okay, that makes sense, putting it together. I feel like the goal is to have 33 touches to our clients. My system is this, putting it on my calendar,
I like that. Good visual.
I like that.
right? I sent that to Lindquist, so if he brings that up next week, he got it from me. He's like, I'm telling everybody about this. I was like, me first.
I want to put it in our tech room.
Put your name up.
All right, next week when he's back, yeah, okay. Goals, you gotta have a goal, so I just wrote down, that's what I'm through and thinking about all this thing, so if you go to the SMART goal, we go down. I don't wanna touch it, it's gonna mess it up.
Yes, it'll, yeah. Done.
Yep, one more. Okay, this is, I feel like the simplest version that you can do for setting goals. And Josh, when I was saying it to you is, setting a SMART goal, like it's gotta be measurable and attainable. If you're drinking 3 ounces of water now going to 64, and I want you to drown from water, and I want you to be able to get it, and why, you said because you wanted to lose weight, and when you're putting it in your habit, so you're gonna do it within 30. Well, you're making a daily tracker of it, so, but 30 days.
Probably not do well on the weekends, but you never know. During the week, I'll do really well.
Because, how come you won't do well on the weekends with it?
Because I'm pretty routine during the week. And then the weekends, you don't even know what's gonna go on. We don't know. We have no clue.
The wild
So,
life.
yeah, like Monday, boom, 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 and then the weekends just shit kind of thing.
I don't disagree with that. That is very true. So we go back up to them. So writing out 2, 3 things that you want to set for goals. And I just put down some ideas so that, you know, feel free to take any of these ideas or none of them at all. But I just want, by having this stuff on here, it's making your mind think. Alter it in whatever way you need to alter it. With family, once a month game night, that's gonna be your goal. Saving for a family vacation or planning for the family vacation. When's it gonna be? Because it's gonna mess up your calendar. It's important, you need to make it a priority. So what was gonna happen that week that you need to shift to a different week now? Health, and we already talked about losing weight, but how are you gonna measure it? When do you want it done by? So what is your monthly goal gonna be? Finances, making a budget or sticking to a budget? How many maybe going through your budget, looking at all your subscriptions that you have that you don't know, like, do you have Disney Plus and Netflix and Hulu and that, and you're struggling, and maybe you don't need all of those. Retirement account, maybe you're gonna focus on paying off debt or building up your emergency fund. And then the other one is real estate goals. How many transactions do you want to do in 2025? Or maybe it's not the number of transactions, maybe it's the dollar amount. Are you going to start reading / listening to books or podcasts? Maybe you want to make sure that you've got a better dedicated schedule. Social media, keeping track of, maybe you want to keep track of social media. I want to be the number one person in Kansas City with the best social media. Perfect. Okay, where are you at right now? How many followers do you want to gain? And that's what you're going to focus on this next month. How many A+ kinds do you have and how many more do you want? A+ also raving fans. Look at the next one, the books. So I saw this on social media too. I took this from, I don't know, Facebook somewhere, 12 books to read to empower yourself, improve mindset, make more money, being a better salesperson and talking to people. This was the 12 books that they recommended, and I looked at all those and I was, okay, I read half of that, I agree with that. So if you need a good starting point, one of those 12 might be good. If you want to pick a completely different book, you do you. What are you going to start reading or listening to this next month? Then, the next one, what would your answer be when someone asks, why should I buy from you instead of somebody else? Goes back to value proposition, is that what they call it? What are you gonna say? And then lastly, since they're gonna, people are gonna come into the team meeting, creating yourself an action plan. What are you gonna focus on? And I just kind of put down some ideas of, January is a big vision board time, right before that, things that you want. I also heard one of these things I was, reading through a smile file. Putting this next to your vision board was a smile file of things that make you smile. So that way when you're frustrated, you just got cussed out by a FISBO because you called in first thing Monday morning, resetting yourself with like, okay, doing this for the kids, doing this because of this, let me reset myself, just having a thing to look at. Schedule text for birthdays. You know, we're on Facebook, if you're Facebook friends with them, then you get a message like every day. And so that's super inconvenient for me because I'm not in the space, I'm on vacation, I'm doing something. So if I can go through at the beginning of the month and look at birthdays and say, okay, you know what? I need to go ahead and schedule this text to go to them that Tuesday at 10 a.m. So I don't have to worry about, because that's in the middle of team meeting and I don't want to forget about it. And I'm going to be taking a nap later on Tuesday that I need to go ahead and make sure that I don't miss that so I can focus on team meeting versus worried about birthdays. I just schedule that stuff out there. I schedule a lot of texts because at night when I'm laying down, I'm thinking about stuff. I'm like, oh, I need to talk to so-and-so about something. I'm like, but not right now, because if I message them right now, they're gonna want to talk. I'm like, oh, what are you doing up late? Like I just had this one thought, I was laying in bed, I don't want to talk to you right now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna schedule it for the next day at 10 a.m. when it's amazing how many times I get a text back and I'm like, who's texting me? And I was like, what? What is this? Oh, yes, I scheduled that text. Perfect, yes. So if I don't write it down, schedule it.
Are you using a command to schedule that?
I'm just on my Android phone, lets me schedule out text messages. Checking your workspace, wherever your desk is at, does it make you happy? Do you have it? However you need it. If you can live it clutter, perfect. Then it's as long as it's whatever you need it to be. If you go to the Crossroads warehouse and you see my desk, you're like, what happened here? It works for me though. Does your workspace make you feel good? Does it stress you out? You don't need to, okay, I'm gonna do these Legion activities and you walk in and your desk is a mess or you get distracted and something else on it. going through old notes from past classes, when I was doing this stuff to set up for this class, I went through this book and it was all of the what's in February, family reunion?
Yeah.
Cause I was in there with the family reunion, I'm taking all these notes and it's these things I had starred and highlighted, and I just like went through this notebook page by page, and I'm like, yes. Yes, database, feed it every day, yes, that does relate, so, let me write that down, cause that's what I knew it and that's what I needed to do. So going back through old notebooks that you have. Finding an accountability partner. Is that something that you would want? Is that something you'd be useful for? Can you be beneficial to you? Looking at your database every day and maybe starting script practice with somebody. And script is so, feels weird. A lot of people don't like doing it. But you don't know what they're doing in the office, then there are lots of people across the country that would role play and do scripts with you so that you can get a better, different idea if you don't want to talk to somebody here because of the company's.